Hi, everyone. Thank you for attending this session. We will start in maybe one more minute. We'll just give it a bit more time. Yep, here we go. We get a few people who joined slightly later than others. So, and I'll just close the waiting room now. That's good. So we can let people straight in. So yeah, we'll start at about maybe one minute past, 2 minutes past.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that that's going to be in very long. It's only going to be in a couple more seconds, really. What I will do, everyone, is I will put the feedback code in for this session now. Just as a reminder, we do ask, please submit feedback for every session that you attend. Not only is it useful for yourselves in terms of getting CPE kind of points, should you need them, but also it's very valuable for both the speakers and for GSE as an organisation. Helps us to make more informed decisions about which speakers to kind of keep using in the future. Which speakers maybe didn't perform as well, and it also helps the speakers themselves in knowing maybe which areas they did really well in or could improve in. So it's in everyone's interest that we get as much feedback as possible. So I'll put the link for that in, and just as a final reminder about that, if you don't know your delegate number or your badge number, it should auto populate the feedback form with that information. If you click the link and you're already logged in. So if it hasn't pre-populated, please just log out, log back in again, and try the link, and it should work. So without further ado, I'll introduce you to Sujit Neb, who is doing, I believe, his third session for GSE, second one today, so very popular speaker. This is on automation and containers. This is a sort of a 101 session, so it is sort of semi-low level, but it's also obviously going to be very interesting, and it's talking about the future strategies that automation and containers will be a part of. So it's relevant for people of all different kind of walks of life, all different fields. So yeah, Sujit, please take it away. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Niall, for introduction. So welcome everyone. Today it's going to be a very interesting session because what it is going to discuss is uh, the the future of mainframe and maybe future of your own personal uh, uh, brand. Okay, so you can think that this will definitely help you build some part of your own as a personal brand, and also the enterprise wide the mainframe strategy for your uh, project or the team, or even at enterprise level. uh, we'll have this agenda a very simple, short and crisp. I will be telling you story. It's my personal story because I feel that most of us are going through that type of situation, and maybe you can find it relevant also in your case. It also, I will be discussing about the problem that I was facing, or um, basically most of us might be facing also, and a possible solution that I found that's working in my favor, working to ease my life, and basically to solve the problem. And definitely why we call the future of mainframe technology, what it is, how it is going to help, we'll also look into that. And at last we'll conclude whether it is truly um, satisfying our criteria or not, or to become a future of mainframe technology. So let's start with the story. So here you can see that it's kind of me doing multitask, okay, doing repetitive work. Like I was often facing the burden of repetitive tasks, and which were like becoming monotonous, leading to lack of growth and innovation. Having things like do this, do that at the same time, and you lose the momentum, you lose the focus. Where I was also facing the time constraint issue, where I was struggling with the tight deadlines, leaving the little time for personal development or pursuing innovative testing strategies, or innovative work, or even thinking out of the box. And for part of this, it was impacting my career progression, because um, uh, with like without automation, I would say, or advanced kind of techniques, I was having my career progression limited, and that was kind of leading to stagnation, frustration. So I am sure that most of you also going through, or maybe have felt kind of same heat during your career. And the main focus is like work-life balance, because demanding nature of the testing or manual testing, or even the manual task, kind of leading to imbalance between your work and life. So it was also doing the same for me, and leaving little time for doing extra stuff, or leaving no energy or low energy to search something which is of my interest or personal growth. So ultimately it was like missing the lack of missing a kind of recognition. Okay, so um I, I was always like facing the challenge where I was doing some manual task, and with no innovative work, and no one was like recognizing me, whether uh, means why this guy's simply sitting harder and doing stuff for longer time, the same thing. Yeah, whether he can do it or not, that's a different part, but definitely it was a struggle forever with no automation. So I'm sure that most of you also have faced this, or maybe facing now, or maybe facing in future. So um, the the main problem behind my story, because I was belonging to more of QA work, and it was only manual testing. I said like only manual testing because I was doing only manual testing, no automation at all. So what generally manual tester follow is like setting up environment, test data, testing multiple functionalities, manually running end-to-end steps and test cases, manually verifying the results, going into the logs, checking whether it is correct or not, finding the bugs, again raising them into the test management tool like Jira, or retesting them once it is fixed. And also the important part was like collecting evidences in terms of screenshots, or in terms of logs or files for that matter, uh, and documentation, because you remember, like whenever we have issue, we need to have the proper root cause analysis and proper documentation in order to avoid that into future. So it was kind of time consuming task and repetitive task, uh, because I was doing it manually. Okay, and you can just imagine that this picture, you can see that the person is identifying the works manually. Someone is just doing task reporting separately, just trying to mimic that. But yeah, if you do it manually, it definitely takes a bit longer time than what you can do it through automation. So solution to this problem I found um, as a useful is automation and containers. So I kind of uh, mixed those, and I can call that as match made in mainframe A1, because it is definitely helping me out to do my job faster, better, consistent, reliable. Everything means for that matter. I can say like I can give number of examples where I can reduce significant time of execution or testing time, I would say, and to improve the quality as well. So let's buckle up your seat, and I would say like for the journey into the heart of modernization, because I will call this as little bit of flavors of modern technologies. We'll check automation as well as we'll think about containers. So how combinedly we can make a good choice for everyone to implement in their projects. Uh, First, we'll start with what is involved in this, because first we need to understand technology point of view. And when we say automation, we need to have it may be test automation, it may be process automation, it may be your service automation, or number of things found that. But here specifically, we're looking into test automation. So in that also, we are specifically looking for one type of framework, which I will reveal shortly. And containerization with the Docker. Again, containerization is popular for the encapsulating your all the libraries dependencies into single package and containerize and run and independent stuff uh, that that is with Docker, and you can again have that with Podman or other container D type of platforms also. Uh, Particularly, we are looking into Docker containerization today and continuous testing. So most of DevOps concept or DevOps project, I would say, they are sometimes not purposefully listing the continuous testing part because they might not be doing or they might be giving less importance to it. But I think that it is equally important as CI/CD, because it's CI, then CI/CD, and then CT. So continuous integration, deployment, and continuous testing. Okay, so it is equally important to implement this into your um, software development process so that it will make your software more reliable, consistent, and bug free. Okay, so first we'll go with the automation, and why it is important basically is it's a main tool to drive your accuracy and efficiency. So when I say accuracy, you need to have something which will do a verification and validation in terms of very particularly what is expected versus what is actual. When it is 100% or near 100% matching, you can say that it is accurate. I don't think that every time we will get 100% of accuracy, but we try to reach to that percent so that we get maximum accuracy and maximum efficiency. So when I say efficiency, we don't have to have waste just for sitting and running for longer time with no output. Say suppose I have 10 test cases running in automated way, but ultimately when I run through the month, through the year, I find no bugs out of it. So I need to rethink about the automation of those 10 test cases, because if it is not, either it maybe means like there is a two outcome, the product is very good, or um, your test case is not hitting or not doing the right validation. So you need to revisit those type of test cases automation strategy so that you will get maximum efficiency with zero wastage. Automation is very good in terms of eliminating manual tasks. So let your automation bots handle the work and you sit, relax, monitor those bots or scripts, and ensure that it is hitting every area of your product so that you can be assured about the quality of the product. And trust me, the way we have been doing here at BMC, also you can do it anywhere for your personal thing or even for your enterprise software. So it will definitely help you out. Okay, example like from batch processing to predictive maintenance, like if you have something which is very predictable task, and it kind of a maintenance tasks or any operation that for means for in that case, like where you need to have that present every day, every month, like that. So you can automate all that using your automation strategy. And the fun fact here is that automation can save up to 80 to 90% of manual efforts. And when I say this fun fact, I have it implemented in my area, and we significantly reduce. Our numbers are higher than this, but this is kind of average I have taken, because sometimes systems are more stable, reliable, and sometimes are they're like vulnerable. So the percentage of saving manual efforts might change, but definitely you will achieve some good numbers in terms of automation versus manual. um, if you are new to automation, definitely you have to go through some process. If you are not new, then definitely you have to choose the right automation tool. If you are already having automation, right automation tool, it's well and good, you can improve it. If not, probably what you need to do is this stage wise planning. So decide the scope of test automation. So what is basically need to be tested, whether it is feasible to test. We don't want just for sake of doing it. So you need to do that scope and feasibility analysis first, then choose the right automation tool. So you need to understand whether the automation tool that you are going to use, it is like how modern it is, or how easy it is to minimize the learning curve, or improve the or maybe you can ask, like you can say, like get maximum number of people to join that automation journey. And once you decide that tool, here you can see that I purposefully have this in green box, because this is very important step of your automation journey. Once you find the right tool, the rest is very easy. So we'll talk more about stage 2 in next slides. However, I will also explain like what other steps are. Like stage 3 is plan, design, strategy. So once you decide the automation tool, you can basically plan and design and strategize how you want to go. So first, step by step, you go with small test case, then go with component wise, then go with integration test, and then end-to-end test. So you can plan that way, design that way, and strategize whether you need it all or you just need to optimize them, like having one test case reaching out every point of validation or every part of your product area. Setup test environment is also important. You need to have right test environment in order to run your automation. If it is not present, you might get different results, so it is important step. Then test scripts and execution. This is important step when we count the numbers, like saving the efforts, right? So running it is fine, but whether it runs effectively and efficiently is that matter. And also means I would add one more E, like economically, because you don't need to have spend a lot of money for taking or buying the licenses or license tools or license things in that case, because it may again involve some means additional overhead. And then last stage is like test analysis and reporting. So understand whether what the test strategy you have implemented is doing it right or wrong. That's like a review at the end. So that's how the entire automation will flow. And now we'll more see about how to choose the right automation tool or a framework. So there are some important factors to consider. As I was saying, like compatibility with your technology stack, because first you do feasibility analysis whether it is feasible or not, and then you understand what technology is involved in your application. So it should support that programming language, platform, operating system, browsers, web browser if it is UI test, and likewise. So you have to do a compatibility with technology stack that your product or software having. Once it is defined, you need to understand how it easy it is to use and what is the learning curve going to be. So as I was explaining, like you should have minimum efforts in learning process and maximum output while using it. So is it possible? Yes, it is possible, and I will show you how. So just stay tuned, like how I am saying like it is easy to use. I will explain that. And then we have this flexibility and customization. So most of the automation tool, if they are licensed kind of things, they might not come with customization or flexibility, but some more open source that comes with the flexibility and customization that you can do. So it supports basically wide range of uh, uh, reusable components or libraries. Okay, and that's why it should be a flexible one. Then scalability and maintenance. So fine, once one day you make a very nice and decent automation tool or framework, but what about maintenance? Did you think about it? Because you are going to be a person that going to start with strategizing and implementing, but what if some more people joins your team, and if they want to maintain or write some more automation test cases or scripts into that, are they able to do it? Are they able to scale that, or are they able to maintain existing one? Because there might be chance of change of functionality. So you need to think from that perspective as well. And then at last, reporting and integration capabilities, because reports are most like a demanded thing from the management perspective, because based on the reports we can say like how product is performing, Okay, so an integration capability is like how you are running the automation is very important. So reporting is one thing and integration is another thing. So integration is like your product should be very well integrated and very well fit into the DevOps tool set if it is CI/CD or CT type of project, or even if it is not, it should be very well integrated one with at least one tool, so that, sorry, so that you can kind of maximize the output. Okay, and you might be questioning like, is it possible to have all these things into one? Yeah, it is possible. I'm using one that is all these factors considered, and that's a robot automation framework. um, I'm not trying to just make it limited to this automation framework. You are free to choose whatever you want, but I find this one as very clear, easy, and modular. Okay, when I say clear, it is very easy, simple English to understand. Robot automation framework, which is very extensible in terms of libraries. Okay, so you don't have to type and code for repetitive work that you already might be doing. It is keyword driven. You don't have to write many keywords again and again. You can reuse some of those, and it's a it's a big thing. Like when you have keyword driven, it utilizes keywords like provided by test libraries to interact with the system under test, so you can customize it according to your need as well. So that is the means possibility available with this robot automation framework. And the generic open source automation framework is the main reason of choosing this, and it has the type of uh, test framework like acceptance testing. Okay, or you can say like acceptance test driven development testing. So ATDD, some people call that as ATDD, but as a result you get like what end user would expect. Okay, so you will get also report and logs in HTML format to view. So that's how modular it is. You don't have to code it from scratch. So suppose if you look for a Java based any framework or test automation framework, you might have to code um, that from scratch to log reports, prepare a report and nice structure. So here it is already inbuilt. You can just make some customization according to your project. So key highlights, as I was saying, like accuracy is the key, high reliability in terms of doing the right validation. um, I will show you how accurate it is, because I'm claiming it again and again, and I find my own thing that it is accurate in most of the cases for us. I would say almost 99% of our cases are like finding it accurate. Okay, then pipeline is one more extensible possible approach that you can use, like continuous testing with on-demand parallel pipeline execution. So we have gained a significant reduction in time using parallel pipeline execution. We are using Jenkins here to do our continuous testing activity. Um, People though called it as a Jenkins as CI/CD tool, but we also do continuous testing using Jenkins. So we have put all our test automation scripts into Jenkins that runs on from the pipeline. It runs again on demand. It triggers on certain daily time for a daily regression suit, and also it can be done on ad hoc basis as and when needed. So that's how we call it as a continuous testing. uh, and reports, as I was saying, like reports are like very important for management, and you can upload, you can archive that, you can save those wherever you want it to be stored. So it can be useful in terms of double verification if in case of there is anything not going right, or if you have missing some points to verification, um, so that you can always refer those reports to double verify, double ensure that your test case is passed and or failed, whether it is right or wrong. um, Coming back to accuracy again, here I have two example, two test case, I would say. First one is positive and the second one is negative. So here the positive is like there is some error message expected. So here you can see that expected versus actual. So we have both matching, exactly matching, no no difference at all, like no single period, no space missing, no colon missing, no number missing, or nothing. Absolutely, they are equal. We capture the screenshot for the successful step, and we say that okay, it is deleted the project. So what we do is we we do the verification, we ensure that it is successful, we capture the screenshot, it is kind of double evidence, okay, and then we delete the project like a Jenkins project. So we don't want junk to get piled up into our Jenkins server or even in our machine, so we delete it at the end. So if it is not correct in the second step, as we can see that the expected and actual results are not same, we say like they are not equal, okay, and you can see that test case one is failed, so 7 is passed, only 8 out of 8. And here you can see that we haven't deleted the Jenkins project. So we are not deleting, or we are not removing those logs which might be required to debug such a failure. Okay, so that's how it is accurate. It is reliable because you can see that bug categories we have achieved through this automation is like performance, user interface, and functional. So functional core is always we aim for. User interface is only involved whenever you have UI in your product area. However, performance might be depend like whether you are doing it backend performance or front end performance. So sometimes UI also face performance issue, or sometimes also backend functional code also might not be coming or giving back response on the time. So we hit kind of 3 categories with this type of automation, and that's why we called it as a reliability. So it's very difficult to find a test automation tool which hits all these 3 categories at the same time. There might be few more test automation tool available in the market, but with all other capabilities, this is the one additional that I think we are getting but better like results with this product testing. Now coming to containerization for this. Okay, now you understood that okay, automation is the one part, and now we'll talk about containerization. Then at the end also we'll say like how to combine those both approaches together. So containers, first we understand like how they are building blocks for mainframe and application agility, because as I was saying, like containers are like encapsulating your entire software source code, dependencies, libraries, and even the OS requirements, whatever, into one. They run, and then they get disposed if not required for again to run the same thing. So that's how it is agile. um, it may be run on any type of operating system. So with WSL, it can be run on Windows machine, like Windows subsystem for Linux. With virtualization, you can also run on any virtual machine, or if you have GCX or container platform, you can also run on IBM Z. So that's how it is agile, and you can run it anywhere based on the architecture type we are using. However, you just need to make sure some points before you run. And in our case, today we are just going to discuss about Linux based containers. uh, Definitely it adds up flexibility, scaling across environments, as I was saying, like how flexible it is. So same code can be executed on one or more different environments. Okay, and there means there we can just avoid all those problems that comes with the compatibilities. Okay, so it can just ensure that simplest deployment across platform. So that's best, and that's very good for um, automating your stuff. um, So a mainframe application, like fun fact around this is like mainframe application can now adopt this to encapsulate their source code and environments. I was having one session earlier today about elevating DevOps came with Jenkins for Python application. I also gave example of one container running on mainframe. You can have that slides checked to know more about this, and you will get idea like how it can be used in that way. However, additionally, there are some possibilities for mainframe with containerization. You can see I have listed 9. That is not limited, but I think they are more like relevant in terms of uh, containerization or the modernization or even automation. So you can see that 3 types of containers being deployed. One is on GCX, one is on G Linux, and one is on GVM or G Linux again inside G, or apart from your GOS. So all these 3 possible because you can run different type of systems like or different type of stuff to containerize your application, like mainframe application modernization, hybrid cloud deployment, microservices architecture, mainframe DevOps pipeline. So mainframe DevOps pipeline is like you can implement a DevOps pipeline for a mainframe development and testing using containerized tool and infrastructure. So this approach basically to streamline the software delivery process and accelerate the time to market and promotes the collaboration. So the bottom line for all these uh, container applications is like need to have collaboration, faster time to market, and reduce compatibility issue. So you can see that there are a number of possibilities available. So you also go and check the feasibility whether you can run container for yourself, whether you can run your container for automation. Yes, I can see like you can see like 7th point is like specifically mentioned for test automation, because you don't have to run always a container for your workloads. You can also run for your test automation, and you can run it on any server possible. Okay, not just limited to mainframe, but I just give example from the mainframe point of view. Now the winning combination, now it's time to combine both. So together the way like the way they work, like it's unparalleled efficiency, scalability, and innovation. So here you can see the diagram. uh, it just have the automating the testing processes, leveraging containerization. Here you can see that integrate the performance testing and delivery life cycle. So you can have different types of testing like unit testing, um, unit testing, system testing, integration testing, or even for performance testing. And then testing tools usage, like here I think we have used VS Code, and yeah, and for test framework we have used robot automation framework. So and then keep communication transparent. So with email notification using Jenkins pipeline was the key for this. And then saving the time with headless execution, because running 130 plus test cases parallelly with headless execution definitely saves your time. Okay, and with means it's not just fun fact, but it's a reality also for our case. With automation and containers, the mainframe future isn't just bright, it's blazing with the possibilities. So you try and do your POC first, understand whether it is doable or not. If it is doable, go slow, take one example at a time, and try to implement this winning combination. I will showcase like what are our results. Okay, here you can see that continuous testing results. As I was saying, like there are 130 plus test cases, which takes almost 20 minutes of execution time. Before automation, we were doing it for around 5 to 6 days. Okay, and you might be surprised like how come 5 to 6 days of time or business time is reduced to just 20 minutes. It was not like all of a sudden or like a magic. We have strategized, implemented it slowly. We have taken small pieces, phase, and then implemented this into to achieve this type of great results. Okay, so you can see that here there is a Jenkins pipeline example, which has all the test cases or test suits for the end-to-end testing, which has positive as well as negative test cases. Here you can see that involves end-to-end test cases, which are like going through UI, doing something on mainframe, coming back with the result on Jenkins, verifying the Jenkins log, and coming back with the final result, whether it is pass or fail. So all that falls into the end-to-end test category. The negative tests are like where we are expecting some error messages, like anything like SQL code XYZ. Okay, we are expecting that, but what if we don't get, or what if we get it wrong? So we need to verify those both cases. And even the third case is like, what if we not getting at all? So we have to find and hit the each part of our product, like whether it works good, whether it works bad. When it works bad, what the message it is giving, how to validate it, how to uh, correct it, so that user can understand how to fix and how to correct that, so that it cannot be be the problem again in the future. And email notification, you can see that here last step we send email notification with this test continuous testing automation. So what we do is like email notification to each dev group and QA group, so that they can understand, okay, this has been executed, no failures logged, no issues logged. If there is any failure, immediately we get the output like, okay, there is an email with saying that it is failed, and it is failed for this reason. Okay, so we capture those, we take the screenshot for both condition, pass or fail. um, we also capture the test report for both condition, pass or fail. And based on the failure type, we fix it manually, or sometimes it may be a just point of like sometimes we just face a system issue where we might not get a resource on the time. So as we are running 130 test cases in parallel, there might be chance like you get issue with your Chrome browser, not available all the time. So that time you can also just rerun the test case and get the desired output. And here we dispose the container also, and return the result, whether it is pass or fail. So here you might be worry means thinking about how the container is part of this full automation. So we run the test cases from Jenkins, we build the container from an image that is our product under test. We run functional step using that container image inside container, and capture the test results for each step, take screenshots, verify each and every messages or return codes or whatever we are expecting. If they are matching, if they are not matching, whatever we save for pass or fail, and then dispose the content. So we are not keeping it live for longer time. We kind of just dispose them as we are done with the test. Okay. So key takeaways from today's session, I would say is like, you must be inspired with these numbers or the story, like how automation and containers are helping. And for example, if you look at like container, you can also containerize your entire test automation framework or suite, um, um, to get maximum benefit out of this. However, if your product is different type of that, then you can also think from a different perspective. That's why the first stage in our automation tool automation implementation was like design and strategize. So you need to design what is required and what is feasible in your case. But definitely automation and containers are like two core or the cornerstones of of the mainframe's future success, because automation is streamlining operations and boost productivity. I was also having Ansible 101 session yesterday. Also gave one example like how streamlining the day-to-day task and how it is boosting the productivity. Automation cannot be only limited to test automation. It can be your operations automation or your service automation. So think about from that perspective. You don't have to again stick to one test framework, test strategy or test tool. You can use number of test automation tools available. You can containerize them. However, I just gave you one example that is possible, that is doable, and it's giving results. So with this, we kind of making the most use of the containers to get more flexibility and scalability. As I was saying, like we have 130 plus test cases, and each of our test case runs for different test result, okay, and test case validation. So we kind of bring our containers from scratch, we run the test, and when we dispose the container. So it's like full end-to-end test, and we are running 130 containers for their specific time, okay, and we dispose them. So it's very flexible, very scalable. They are not mixing together, they are like running independent, okay, and they will not give you or they will not even reuse the resources from the other containers. So we're keeping them independent. That's why we are getting it the more accurate result, okay. And definitely that's how your end user will also do. Like they will not also combine two stuff together. They will always use your product for specific thing and specific functionality. So together they will definitely like ignite mainframe technology to new era of innovation. I have seen many people started bringing containers and automation into their mainframe modernization journey. They're like very much happy with the results, and even some people like new to mainframe technology also kind of utilizing the existing um, distributed type of functionalities to bring mainframe into their mainstream, or to bring into the DevOps tool set. So that is also possible. So definitely the future of the mainframe isn't just like making it automated. It's like making it automated to most perfect thing, okay, on this planet. So I assume that you might have understood the picture behind the story, and how automation and containers can be clubbed together to get maximum benefit. However, approaches are different, may be feasible to your case, like what I have implemented. However, if not, just try to find out what are the possibilities or alternatives to what we have done. So definitely you will get answers. If not, just let me know. I will also be happy to help you out. And definitely with these resources that I have shared, like some blogs and videos, I can see that you can also learn more about this, um, make use of this, and make your product more flexible, scalable, automated, and more perfect. So thank you for joining me today and making this journey more adventure. And yeah, I hope you like the session, and please do ask question if you have any in the chat window. If not, you can email me, or just connect with me on the LinkedIn. I would be happy to help you out. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sujit. Really appreciate your time. We've actually not had much in the way of questions from the audience, but I would ask if you could go back to, I mean, thank you for showing the feedback form as well, and that is a good reminder. Please do
Yeah.
fill the feedback form in, everyone. But if you could go back, Sujit, to your resources, I actually had a question, which is
Mhm.
just there. So is there any specific reason you recommend those over any other resources? You know, what was it
Yeah.
about those? Were they, for example, were they books, or were they blogs, or were they, you know, what was it about those that?
So, okay, very good question. So, I personally like to get the gist of the content, okay, and I want means I always try to figure out in terms of blocks what is easy to understand and what is to the point for that functionality or for that technical knowledge. So I brought all those blogs or videos together that I have been through. I have seen those, they are helping in some context, okay, and they have helped me. That's why I feel that it will help others as well. And they're also good point like to start who are new. So it has both contents like beginner's guide, and even if you want to implement like step by steps, some containerized application, or even like how container images can be leveraged into IBM Z or IBM Linux 1, or even how the mainframe containers and Linux matters, how they are linked, um, why they are called as a fit for purpose. So all the questions that I've faced or I might have thought of like during going through all this journey, yeah, I have listed it out.
And I wasn't sure. So is there any I don't know, so everyone learns different ways. So some people
Yeah,
are very good at like reading, and some people are very
yeah,
good at doing.
right.
Obviously, I don't think, if I remember correctly, I don't think unless there's been some change since, Z Explore has kind of an area to test and tinker around with containers and containerization. But is there any maybe YouTube videos? So you maybe can't. There's no kinesthetic learning, but would you say there's any visual learning that you've you've seen?
Um, Visual learning is there, but it's not linked to mainframe testing. It is for different
Right,
type of application. However, this last blog is I personally wrote for Tech Channel. It has visuals like in terms of screenshots, and it is like a step by step.
brilliant.
So you
Is
just need
that's
to
the 8
follow the
steps, is it,
steps.
at the end?
Yeah, yeah. So
Amazing.
if you just follow those steps, and at the end of these steps, you will be able to run your first containerized application. So be it on GCX or any other application or operating system.
And Atul, I'm assuming you've got a question. You're usually very good at these. I mean, I'm sometimes I almost soak things up and then don't even know what to ask. But
So I do have a question. In that, do you see the discipline of working with containers a specific role as regard to the mainframe, or is it something that everybody in the team should be using from development to operations?
Sorry, I think I missed some part of your question. Can you
Okay.
repeat?
Is it? Do you think it's a specialist role to manage containers in an organization, or is it something that anybody, as a developer
Okay,
or a
okay,
operations person, can
okay. Very good question. So most of the times, developer QA, they are independent uh, contributors to the product, right? And they might have separate setup for their work, like dev team have separate environments, QA have a separate, and ops have a separate. So they can do it for their own stuff. It's not like you don't have to find a role to do this, because nowadays you get the Linux virtual machine, or even for if you have Windows, you can with the WSL Windows subsystem for Linux, you can simply use that to install your Linux machine on your laptop and start this doing containerization. Okay, even if you are not sure about virtualization, not to worry, you just download the Docker for desktop, you start with the containerization. Start with little thing, whatever basic to you. So Docker for desktop is very basic, and you can start with simple container like a Docker learning. Okay, they have the documentation part of their their Docker, I think Docker documentation, and the they have containerized it. So you can start with that step, and you will be able to run your first container. So once you run on Windows desktop, you will be able to learn on any other platform. It just slight modification, but yeah, it's not like a big deal.
And just a follow-up question. Have you seen any colleges, universities offering or including training around automation and containerization in their coursework? Have you seen that at all, or maybe you're not qualified to answer?
uh, See, like what I have seen a few days back is like people not sure about running container or mainframe at all. Okay, so we kind of have to propagate that. Okay, it is possible, it is doable, and how doable, we have to go through those type of sessions. And with that, we are now able to give some presentation. People started working using it, and it's a good part that they are getting results also. So I have one example. I will not disclose much detail, but I have one example where college students started with the application built up. They have some web application for project management. They have containerized it. They have written it in Python. They have containerized it. They have prepared a Docker multi-platform build, like it can be run on Linux, Windows, or GCX. And from that build, they're able to run container on any platform that is available to them, and they can host their application there, and they're able to see the result. So yeah, I can say that college students are started in getting into it. And I was surprised when they just implemented best practices as well, like multi-layer build, or minimizing the size of Docker image, or using the light version of Docker image like Alpine. So yeah, they are going into that direction, and it's very good to see that.
I think it's very encouraging. And in the UK, specifically here, we have universities who are providing courses for the mainframe now. And I'm sure many of the students would be interested in delving more deeper into the art and science of containerization and automation. And this session is being recorded, so I'm sure many people will follow up with you afterwards to pick your brains and seek some guidance as well from you. But
yeah, I expect that.
yeah. Well, very good content. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
Agreed. Yeah, thank you very much for your time. I guess if there's no more questions from the audience, then we can wrap it up with a final, third and final reminder about submitting the feedback. I have also put a link in the chat to the article that Sujit was referring to that he wrote for Tech Channel. So definitely one to worth checking out if you have time to do so. But yeah, I guess with that done, thank you so much, Sujit, for your time, and thank you to the audience for attending and for dedicating your hour to this session. And I wish you all a very nice lunch or whatever meal time it is in your kind of respective time zone. And speak to you all soon. I'm sure we'll see you in a subsequent GSE 101 session. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Bye bye.